Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode number 237. Nick Quaglia, Jared Scally. I officially have a new microphone.
I think this should be dubbed the Sounding Crisp episode.
I'm assuming, I don't know yet, I sound 1,000 times better. I'll be honest, I don't know if I love hearing myself talk, Jared talk me into putting my headphone jack into the back of the microphone.
Beautiful thing. If you're in radio, you know why.
I know. I haven't done this in a while.
Get used to it.
And I didn't like it before. I don't even know how to turn myself down. I'm screaming my own ear. But anyway, Couch Guys Sports Podcast. So we're here in this is the I officially sound crisp podcast again after not having a microphone for what? A month? 2 months? Whatever it was.
Close to it. Yeah.
But it's also me taking a victory lap, because I was told all week, not just by, honestly, not even really by Jared, but by several people. I was telling multiple people, hey, take a look at the way that Vegas is moving this line. The public at one point, I don't know if this is how it ended, but the public at one point was at 71% in favor of the Patriots. 71%. That was at them at plus 110. And I don't know if that was spread. I don't know if that was money line, whatever. But the Patriots were at plus 110. And then suddenly, Vegas was like, you know what? I'm going to move the odds from plus 110 to plus 120. Now, if Vegas was acting regularly, they would take that plus 110, maybe move it down to 100, maybe 105, whatever it was, move it down. So then they could get more people to bet the Colts, balance it out a little bit. But they were like, no, hold on. We know the Colts are going to win this football game. Let's move this up to plus 120 and get more people to bet the Patriots.
Got your boy Nick Quaggs to do it.
But I told you, and I told multiple people when I was betting this game, hey, I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about this game. I don't feel good about betting this game for the Patriots, but I can't bet against the Patriots tonight. I was also drinking, so I was going to be more upset if, well, you know what? If the Patriots lost him, whatever. But all I'm saying is I knew. And you got to pay attention to the way Vegas moves the lines.
I will say, though, after Sunday's football games,
I'm taking out this. I'm plugging this into the computer.
Oh, he's such a baby. He can't do it.
I can't. I hate it.
So soft. I don't know if you can still hear me, but the way after watching some of Sunday's football games, seeing the way it all shook out, the Patriots loss to the Colts means nothing now. Like, the Colts really needed that win. You look at the Patriots loss and go, great, they're the 2 seed still, because the Ravens puked on themselves and the Titans still suck because Derrick Henry's not there. So the Chiefs won, yes. So you are the now 2 seed, which realistically, you're probably the second best team in the AFC anyway, because the Chiefs are figuring it out.
I would say so.
I'm not afraid of the Chiefs. I think they can beat them. But I would say right now, the way everyone's playing, you're probably the second best team anyway. No harm, no foul. You lose to the Colts. You play the Bills this weekend. You win this weekend. The division's yours. And then you finish with Jacksonville and Miami.
And so here's a big problem. So let's just talk about the game right here. So they obviously lose to the Colts. Final score 27-17. That last touchdown came on Jonathan Taylor. I think it was a 68-yard touchdown run. Broke through the line, went for it, took off. The Patriots are in striking distance. Look, the fact that they were even in line to potentially make a stop, because they had to make that stop on that drive specifically if they were gonna contend to even tie the game or win the game. Mm-hmm. The fact that they were even in that position was a good sign. But Jared, man, I'm telling you, last week talking about this game, and it's not a hot take, obviously, but you have to take away Jonathan Taylor in the run game. But we knew that the Patriots defense going into this game had a tough time against the run. They were getting run all over. They got run all over against the Browns backup running backs. Mm-hmm. They got run all over against the Titans backup running backs. This run defense isn't good. The defense overall is good. The run defense is not good. And that does not bode well when you're going up against a potential MVP candidate. And we're going to talk about that later on. But when you're going up against the potential MVP candidate in Jonathan Taylor, it's not good. They had to take away the run. They had to make Carson Wentz throw the football. They didn't, and you saw what happened. They
And you
got
looked at
beat by Jonathan Taylor.
You looked at the first drive too when they forced the Colts 3 and out. The Colts threw it every time. Like they didn't hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor on their first drive. Patriots were 3 and out. They were good, and they got the ball. I will say this: for the first time this year, Mac Jones looked like a rookie. Now, am I saying he played horribly? No, he had a couple bad plays, these interceptions. Right? I think overall, for the grand scheme of things, Mac Jones played well. And I don't want to sit here and say Mac Jones is the reason why they lost this game, because he wasn't. Did he help? Absolutely not. But I will say this, and I'm kind of curious on your take on this, because, yeah, the run defense sucks, and we know that, and they're probably screwed. If Derrick Henry comes back and they have to play the Titans, they might be screwed. But the Boston media has been trying to give us Mac Jones needs to figure out how to get his team back in the game, lead those drives, and if they're down in the third and fourth quarter, like, can he do it? Can we put that to bed now? Because he did it.
He did, yeah.
He did it. He played from behind. He threw the ball a ton. He threw 2 touchdowns to Hunter Henry, 2 really good drives when he needed it. Can we just put that to bed, though? Like, the sports radio around here has just been like, well, we haven't seen Mac Jones come from behind and win a game. It's like, okay, but he pretty much did without doing it. Like, he led that drive. They were in that game. Not his fault why they didn't have another chance. Not his fault why they lost that game.
Yeah, no, he got them back into it for sure. But I mean, you got to play better. The only thing is, like, you got to keep them in it. Like, you can't just fall behind like that. They did not look good offensively for the most part of that game, except near the end of the game when they started to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the same thing that I think, if I remember right, when they were playing the Chargers, it was kind of the same thing, except they ended up winning that football game, and they were in striking distance, if not leading in that game the entire time. This game at halftime, it looked over, it felt over. They looked flat. It's that run defense, man. That's going to scare me for the rest of the season. They don't have an answer. And we've seen that multiple times. The Titans game, we were like, okay, great. Derrick Henry's out. That didn't matter. Really didn't matter.
You should have known that wasn't going to matter, because you looked at the numbers per carry that the Titans backups were getting were pretty much aligned with what Derrick Henry was getting. They just whoever's in that backfield has the ability. I'm not saying Derrick Henry's not great, but their yards per carry as a group was as good as Derrick Henry's. Like, there was a wash there. They were getting the same production from their running game as they were when Derrick Henry was back there. So that, like, wasn't even a valid argument. But, like, I look at the Patriots now and go, okay, but the big thing for me on Sunday is, or I guess it was Saturday, that Jacoby Myers drop. Like, that for me, I knew the game was over as soon as that dropped. Like, he dropped that ball, which would have been a deep shot, first down, momentum on the Patriots side. And then the Colts come back and block the punt. And it's like, oh, crap. This game might already be over. And then it's 14-0 already. It's like, oh, this game's over. Because if Jacoby catches that ball, which was, by the way, a dime. Like, he put that ball only where Jacoby Myers could have caught it, and he should have caught it. He catches that ball. It's a good shot. They keep that drive going there in the end zone the way they've been playing this year. That's 7-7. That's a whole different ball game. That block punt doesn't happen. So I don't want to blame Jacoby Myers by any means, but, like, that momentum shift right there just carried the fans, and it was a playoff atmosphere, and the Colts just took that and ran with it. Literally.
Yeah, the momentum shift there was you're right. That was it. Like, that was a major part of that game that you blew. Again, like, it's encouraging that near the end of that game that you were in it as much as you were, and you were, like, in striking distance of potentially tying or winning that game.
If you don't let Jonathan Taylor rip off a 68-yard run, you might get the ball back. Like, and if you get the ball back, what does Mac do with it? You're only down by 3 at that point. All you get is a field goal.
They were so beat up on the front. They couldn't stop anything. It came to the point where it was 4th and 1. You might as well just give the Colts the ball and just
say this
going. Keep
right
going.
now, though? I know we all love our Josh McDaniels slander, and I do. And it's kind of what this is. But, like, he overall has been fine lately. But can we just stop with, like, the 3rd and short tosses to Brandon Bolden?
Yeah, it does. It has to stop. It's like they just give up on it.
They're one of the better running back groups in the league. They're so good at running between the tackles.
You didn't have Derrick Henry, though.
You don't trust
Damian Harris.
But you don't trust Ramondre Stevenson to pick up a 3rd and 2?
Well, he didn't look good. And, I think they gave him an opportunity to, if I'm not mistaken, he had one of those opportunities and he got stuffed. They were getting bullied.
Okay, but if Damian Harris is playing, they give that ball to him and they keep letting him run.
Probably,
but
yeah.
If you don't trust your running game to get it down the middle, you don't think a quick little shotgun pass from Mac Jones is a better option than a toss to the left for Brandon Bolden.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how the Colts are better rush defense spread out. Like the Colts defense on the perimeters is really good. Just run a play action or run a quick shot. Like it's shocking to me that for all the Josh McDaniels praise that people try to give him, he's so bad in some really crucial spots when it comes to judgment of like these short yardage situations when you got to have it. It's kind of crazy to me.
I have a question.
No.
This is off that topic, but no, I agree. And that's always been our biggest complaint with Josh McDaniels, and honestly, Twitter's biggest complaint with Josh McDaniels. And from what it sounds like, what he said earlier in the season, his wife's biggest complaint with the way he calls plays.
Happy wife, happy life, Josh. Stop with those sweeps to Brandon Bolden.
It's almost like they just give up on that drive and just like, whatever, we're gonna punt the football.
Which is nuts because it's 3rd and 2.
Right.
3rd and 3. It's not like it's 3rd and 10. Then fine, whatever. But like 3rd and 2, you should be able to trust Mac Jones or some like to just play action. Something. You have one of the best tight ends in the league, and Hunter Henry catching the ball right now. Just give him the ball. Like, I don't get it. Doesn't make sense.
Oh, so the Browns Raiders game is on right now because COVID moved this game to Monday night 5:00. Which we're going to talk about COVID in a bit.
Patriots my fantasy league.
Patriots are now getting hit with COVID. Good thing I really didn't make the playoffs in my big money fantasy football league because I would be shitting myself right now with all of these people getting COVID.
I'm playing Justin Fields this week because I had no choice. And if I do happen to win this week, which is close, now Eckler might not play, and I have Eckler's one of my best players on that team. So even if I do win this week, I'm probably port next week. So whatever.
You don't know though, because your opponent could lose half his team.
That's also true.
It's wild what is happening right now with COVID in the league. But they're changing the protocols apparently, and I might not have this right, but now if you're asymptomatic, you're vaccinated, you're fine.
You don't need to get tested. You're good.
I'll be honest with you. At this point, I feel like that's kind of the way you have to go.
I mean, COVID's not going anywhere. Like
it's
forever.
It's not.
If people aren't dumb about it, like it's going to become a yearly booster shot. Like think like the flu shot, right? It's going to come something that think about. And you don't know this probably, but like as a parent, right? Your kids get shots every six months at the beginning of their lives for all the vaccines for stuff that we've had over time, like polio and all that crap.
I give my dog heartworm medicine once a month.
Okay, it's not the same thing, but all the things that like protect us from those viruses from back in the day, right? When we were all like, yeah, I don't care what's in that vaccine, just give it to me, right? Like those are all. My kid got a polio shot when she was 6 months. So
you never know. Polio could be making its way back.
It's going to become part of that routine, right? So. It is what it is. Did you see mass today? Your mayor in Boston, your new mayor, proof of vaccine cards to get into like bars and restaurants. Whoa.
Yeah, people don't like that.
Some people do. I'm a fan of it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, some people do, but
hate on me all you want. I don't live in your state, so it doesn't even affect me. But like, I'm for it. Let's do it. New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give my opinion on it. I really don't even have an opinion on it. I don't really care. I'm vaccinated.
And you can get in. Like, here you go. I'm in. Let's do it.
It doesn't. I'm going to get my booster next week or whatever, whenever I can. But
what was the question you had for me? You had a question for me.
The question.
You probably lost it.
No, I got it. Listen, I got notes here, buddy.
New microphone notes. Who are you?
I'm a brand new guy.
Woo.
Okay, I feel better with a microphone in front of my face. That's
what she said.
The Patriots came out of a bye week. Why? And I get it was like this for like the first 15 years of the dynasty, but is it me or the past few years? Like there's this narrative that the Patriots are great coming out of the bye week. I feel like the past few years, that's just not even close to the case. Like they come out flat, maybe even the past 5-6 years. I feel like they come out flat of the bye week every time. And every year we have the same conversation after the Patriots bye. Well, they've got 2 weeks to prepare. They're great coming out of the bye. I don't think that's true. And like, if you got stats to back up that they are great out of the bye in these past 5 years, 6 years, show me them because I'm not going to look them up. I don't care enough to look them up.
Too lazy.
But I just feel like they come out flat.
I'm shocked that it's even a thing because Bill Belichick is, I genuinely think he's the greatest coach of all time. And he's touted for his preparation, and the Patriots are always touted for their preparation and all these things. How do you get trounced like that after 2 weeks off, like 2 week preparation time, all that stuff? Like, how do you get trounced by a team that isn't as good as you? Like, I'll be honest, they looked better, but I don't believe the Colts are a better football team overall than the Patriots are.
I don't either. They run as Jonathan Taylor runs.
That second half of that game proves it to me. Like, when the Patriots figured it out and stopped making dumb mistakes, they were right back in that game and really had an opportunity to win it. Still, after all the crap they dealt with in that first half, the Colts are not a better. If you play the Colts again, which most likely would be at home too, by the way, if you do play them again, you're gonna beat them. Like, genuinely believe that. But like, for that night, how do you come off a bye and look so unprepared and so unready to go? The Colts jumped on them, Nick, right away and didn't look back. And it was like, did you literally just go on vacation and not practice for 2 weeks? Like, it looked bad.
Well, that's what Mac Jones, after the game, he talked about how they were flat in practice. It was boring. They were uninspired, and it showed on the field. And Bill Belichick kind of echoed the same thing. They just didn't have a good week of practice.
I hope they're inspired now.
They have to be. They have to be. But they, a few of them talked about it, including Jamie Collins, I believe, said this. Like, it was a smack in the mouth.
Hope so, because you're playing the Bills.
Smack in the mouth.
You're playing the Bills this week, and now if you lose that game.
I mean, I thought they were going to go 3-1 for the rest of the season. Not shout out me again, but I did predict this loss. I think they went out for the rest of the season. I think the Bills' brains are scrambled. I don't think they're good anymore. I think they're done for the season.
Who'd they just play this weekend? Who'd they play yesterday?
Oh man, I forget.
Because they won yesterday, and everyone's like, oh my God, the Bills are back. And it's like, yeah, but it wasn't a good team. It wasn't even a good team. Who was it?
I was watching the game. Panthers.
Okay. You beat the Panthers.
Listen, Cam Newton stinks.
And Cam Newton stinks.
He stinks.
And you're telling me, oh, well, the Bills are back. The Bills figured it out. No, they just played the Panthers.
They played the Panthers. Yeah, the Panthers are not a good football team.
Your two losses were to real teams. The back-to-back weeks were the Patriots, and you lost to the Bucs, who also had their issues last night. But like, you can't tell me, oh, we beat the Panthers and Cam Newton. We were back. No, you didn't beat Cam Newton from 2015. You beat Cam Newton from 2021. He's not good.
No. You know what else was weird about Saturday's game was the mental mistakes.
It was so bad.
How many penalties did they have?
Penalties that they never take. Just stuff that isn't, even for this team, and this isn't even like a past 20 years unpatriot-like characteristics. Like, this situation, this team right now does not take penalties like that.
No, they did at the start of the year, and they figured it out.
And they fixed it. And it looked like the team from week 3 against the Saints, whenever that was. Like, that's what that team looked like for the 3 quarters of that game.
I hope it was a smack in the mouth. I hope they figure it out from here. I'm sure they will. I really do think they will. This is a really good football team. They had a bad week. Mm-hmm. It was a perfect storm.
Can we not jump off the bandwagon? Like, can we not?
No.
They're still good.
The best running back in the league did what he does. He ran down your fucking throats. That's what he does. They have a great offensive line down there. Quentin Nelson is legitimately potentially going to end up in the conversation as one of the best guards of all time.
Yep.
Like, that's not even hyperbole. Like, that, he is legitimately going to be in that conversation. I think he's that good at what he does. But I mean, overall, I think you do have the formula to beat him next time. I mean, look, Carson, like, okay, so look at this. Mac Jones threw for 45. He threw 45 times. Carson Wentz on the other side, 57 yards, 5 for 12, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Carson Wentz didn't play.
Mac Jones, 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That one he threw to the one interception that was a dart to Hunter Henry. That's one of those rookie moves where I think if you're in college where the players are slower, I think that's probably a completion. That's probably where that comes from. But Mac is still obviously approaching this game.
That was his first interception in the red zone all season, by the way. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
How nuts is that?
I unfortunately had the volume off during that entire game.
That was his first red zone interception all season. Turnover, actually. Red zone turnover all season.
And we've had this conversation before, too. We've had this conversation, like, Mac is going to have one of these rookie games. He's going to. Mm-hmm. And if that was your rookie game,
great. You're in good shape.
Phenomenal.
Which it kind of felt like it was, to be honest.
Yes.
Like, it felt like he was rolling. I don't say the Saints was your rookie game because the whole team sucked that day earlier in the season. This felt like a Mac Jones rookie game. If that's it, you're in great shape.
If that's your rookie game, give it to him.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. 299 yards, 26 for 45. Unfortunately, his completion percentage dropped, which is sad. You know, I was really enjoying how high his completion percentage was.
That stat line is better than, like, some of these guys who've been in the league forever can even do. Like
Carson Wentz went 5 for 12.
Carson Wentz went 5 for 12. Now, I won't give too much crap to Carson Wentz because the clearly game plan, like the Bills game for the Patriots, was just run the damn ball. So, like, he stopped having to throw it. Especially after that first drive, they're like, nope, Carson, we're done here. But, like, he's been good for the most part this year, so I can't give him too much crap.
You have the formula. It's
run the football.
It's stop Jonathan Taylor.
But see, you know why that's not successful?
And you probably win. Why?
But you know why? Not for the Patriots, for the Colts. Because look at the Titans. They've shown that you can't win football games like that in the playoffs. They tried to rely on Derrick Henry the last couple of years in the playoffs, and they just run out of gas. And then they don't have the quarterbacks to actually win those games. Because eventually you got to throw the football to win a playoff game.
Yeah, and they both have wide receivers that can be arguably some of the best going. AJ Brown, I would say for sure. Although he's had a down year, AJ Brown really beat up a lot of people's fantasy football teams.
Well, he's hurt half the year. He's been hurt on COVID lists. He's been
but either way, when he's there, he hasn't even really been that great. And then, dude, Michael Pittman Jr. is gonna be a guy.
Yeah.
Wow. And
yeah,
you know what? I grabbed him off of waivers earlier this year, and I dropped his ass.
Someone didn't draft him.
Maybe I drafted him. Maybe I had him on my team at one point.
Idiot.
But I dropped him. But
why'd you drop him?
I ended up going 3-10 anyway. I was screwed. I wasn't winning shit.
Did you win the toilet bowl? Are you that guy?
Not yet. Not yet. So we're doing this 14th of the toilet bowl. It starts next week. Next week I'm playing somebody, and then the week after it's kicker versus kicker. Loser loses the toilet bowl.
Wait, so hold on. So you play somebody next week. So there's 4 people in the toilet bowl. Do the losers of those games go kicker versus kicker? Right?
Winners. No, losers. Yeah, losers. Yeah.
So if you win, you're good. If you lose, you're going kicker. Who's your kicker?
Oh, get this. I'm solid. And I already know this. I've been hanging on to this guy.
Is it Justin Tucker?
Oh, no. Nick Folk.
Oh, he's been so good.
Yes, I'm fine.
And then who they playing in 2 weeks? They're playing the Jaguars.
The Jags.
So, ton of points. Maybe some drives that don't get all the way to the end zone.
Fine.
It's a great matchup for you. Okay. I think you're okay.
Yeah, and I told you we're doing that the labor simulator.
Yeah.
The labor pain
I really
simulator.
want Nick Folk to have a crappy game that week just so you have to do it.
Yeah. No, I don't. One guy in my league already said that he's accepted the fact that he's going to end up losing the toilet bowl.
Who's his kicker?
I don't know. Let me check.
Oh man.
Because my team has been so bad this year, and I've just got backups basically. My team has been so bad this year that I've just been like I've kind of assumed I'm going to be in the toilet bowl, at least competing in it. Let me see.
COVID's
I'm in the wrong
been so
week.
bad.
Huh?
COVID's been so bad though. With everything.
We're going to talk about COVID. We can move on in a second too from the game because there's really not much else to talk about. Overall, like, are you worried? Are you concerned
about the Patriots themselves? No. Now, if they lose to the Bills, maybe. I mean, they're in the playoffs, right? Like, we're pretty convinced of that at this point. Like, there's no way this team really misses the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs. I think they still win the AFC East.
I think they win this weekend. Like, I think they beat the Bills. And at that point, you win the division, right?
Oh. Potential kicker versus kicker matchup. This is a good one. Me, Nick Folk, just assuming I lose this week because it's just I've lost.
Because Nick's going to. Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost. The only team I've beaten, I finished the season 3-10. I beat the first place team twice.
Because that makes sense. Yeah.
He texted me after. He was like, "You're the only asshole who's beaten me twice this year." I was like, "Yeah, dude. My team is electric. Backup running backs, backup receivers.
They get right. They play at the right time. They get up for the right games."
My guy Nick Folk potentially up against Harrison Butker.
Oh,
that's a good matchup.
That's a great kicker versus kicker matchup. I like the toilet bowl kicker versus kicker thing. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, we decided that like midway through the season this year, and I'm all for it.
Are you still setting a lineup and they just look at the kicker points? Like,
oh no, you're benching everybody except your kicker.
Oh, you literally bench everybody else.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
it's gonna be electric.
Kicker versus kicker.
It's the best. This is our big money league. This is the best idea we've ever had in this.
Kicker versus kickers for the toilet bowl is kind of a good time.
That's great.
Oh,
all right, we're gonna move on and we're gonna talk about the MVP because the MVP conversation has gotten extremely interesting after this weekend. But Jared, before we do that, we're going to talk about our friends over at Manscaped. Guys, the best in the men's grooming game. It's holiday season, and you don't know what to get as a gift or a stocking stuffer. Well, today's sponsor, Manscaped, has the tools to guarantee you win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition, which I still don't know what that is. Manscaped is a leader in men's below-the-waist grooming, and they have served more than 4 million men worldwide. If my math is correct, that's almost 8 million balls. Get 20% off with free shipping using the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. Ho, 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 fellas, naughty or nice, 'tis the season to perform. Manscaped's best-selling product is the Performance Package 4.0, which is at the top of every man's wish list this year. Inside, you will find the Lawnmower Body Trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body, and the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Let's not forget their famous liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner to maximize your ball hygiene routine. Get the Performance Package now to receive their 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. The dads can't stop talking about this. The teens secretly buy this, and the women will love you for it. Now, these are our picks for Manscaped Surefire Win Stocking Stuffers. Number 1, the Manscaped 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that just launched killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Number 2, the Manscaped Cologne Infused Body Wash. Number 3, the Shears 2.0 Luxury 4-piece Nail Kit. Number 4, the Crop Mops Ball Wipes for your stanky balls. And number 5, Manscaped Signature Cologne. Now listen, environmentally friendly. These formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free. So you know their products are legit. Make sure that you hurry to their site to ensure these wild gifts show up before the holiday season. And while you're at it, get 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code CouchGuy20. Now, I'll be honest, if you ordered today, I don't think they will be in by Christmas, but they'll be in quick and soon. Whether this is for your partner, dad, brother, friend, get them something that they will actually use, and it's almost sure to get a laugh. Listen up. Get 20% off with free shipping using the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. Be the ballsiest gift giver this year with Manscaped. All right, MVP. Really, I think it's come down to 3 guys. So Patrick Mahomes has better odds than Jonathan Taylor, which I think is dumb.
That's a name thing.
Yeah, that's dumb. I'm not even considering Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes won this year, that's just the dumbest shit I've ever seen in the league. But basically, it's come down to who's been the favorite, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers to repeat. And I think Jonathan Taylor has really put himself in that conversation. Who would you choose? I know running backs, they don't win.
It won't be Jonathan Taylor because it's literally Jonathan Taylor versus 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game. It's going to be Brady unless he falls on his face another week.
See, after last night's game, I think Brady might have fallen on his face.
I mean, if people give him a week to do that, like I think right now, if you look at last night and what happened, I would say Aaron Rodgers might be leading.
I think Aaron Rodgers has been playing out of his mind
all year,
and those balls he throws, man. Oh yeah, my God.
I think Rodgers right now should be considered the favorite after what happened yesterday, but I still wouldn't be shocked if Brady plays out of his mind the next 3 weeks and wins.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But I think right now it's probably Rodgers.
So here's my argument for Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor should actually have a legitimate argument for this because, a lot of people, you've seen some people talk about the running back MVP conversation, and some people talked about Derrick Henry last year because Derrick Henry was in that conversation. Derrick Henry last year, 1,619 yards with 15 touchdowns. I was looking at
that tweet too.
Is it because I liked it?
No, I saw it.
Is my name above it?
No.
Is that why it's on your feed? No. Jonathan Taylor, 1,854 yards with 19 touchdowns, and the season's not over. And here's my thing about the MVP conversation. I think that if your team is a legitimate playoff team, at least in the NFL, I think baseball is totally different because then Mike Trout would never be in the conversation, even though he might be the greatest baseball player to ever live. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame that he's stuck with the Angels.
He signed a 12-year contract. I think.
That's on him. It disappoints me. I don't think the guy cares about winning. I'm not going to say somebody else who I think might have the same thought process, but hey, that's fine. The conversation I think really should revolve around playoff teams, teams that are hot, teams that are playing really well, teams that you could consider contenders, maybe fringe. But I think it should come down to, if you remove this guy from the conversation, does it drastically change your team? Obviously, you take Tom Brady away from the Bucs, they stink. Probably, they're probably not very good. Maybe middle. There was a giant ass fly in this room. I can hear him. I didn't know flies were still out. Oh my god! I hope this is a fly. This thing sounds huge. Obviously, if you take Tom Brady out of the conversation, the Bucs, they probably stink, or at least they're middle of the road. You take Aaron Rodgers out of the Packers, we saw what happened. You put Jordan Love in there, they weren't good. That offense was totally different. You remove Jonathan Taylor from the Colts, Jared, and they probably are not that good.
They probably have like 3 wins. You kidding me? How many games he's won for them this year? It's insane.
That's what I mean. I think if you remove Jonathan Taylor from the Colts, they're a totally different team. They go as Jonathan Taylor goes. And because of that, because of how good he is, because we had the conversation last year, that was legit. Derrick Henry could be MVP. And Jonathan Taylor, even with 2 games left, if you want to make the 17-game argument, even with 2 games left, he still is leading him by over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. You got to imagine
2 games left.
Yeah, right. You got to imagine he's going to get at least 200 more yards tacked onto that. So he's probably going to cross the 2,000-yard mark. And maybe, I'd say 2 to 3 more touchdowns, maybe more. You don't know. He put up 5 against the Bills. Jonathan Taylor has a legitimate argument for this.
But see, I think I think Henry did last year too. And you looked at that team and could have had the same exact argument. It was, well, what take away Derrick Henry and what do they look like?
Right, but Jonathan Taylor's numbers are better.
Yeah, but you're seeing it this year. It's the same thing. If it was actually the most valuable player, yeah, he might have a shot. But the way this league votes, you have Brady versus Rodgers. That's all they're talking about for the MVP race, and that's all it's going to be. Like, the running back is a very hard position enough as it is. That it's very hard for them to win MVPs. He's not going to do it. If he does it, Nick, I'd be shocked. Because they just don't vote running backs in as MVPs, even though they probably deserve it.
If he crosses the 2,000-yard mark,
still won't get it,
and hits 22 touchdowns, I think he should have a legitimate argument. I think he will have a legitimate argument. And I'm at the point now where I'd even consider sprinkling a little bit of money on him.
Go ahead.
What I see at a plus 1,400, I'd consider it. I'd think about it.
You're gonna lose some money there, big guy.
I'm gonna take a look at the odds afterwards, and or what I would win with a considerable amount of money. Obviously, bet 100, get 1,400. But I think.
Ready? Let's see here. Where's my MVP? Offensive Player of the Year. Now you want MVP. What is he for the? Jonathan Taylor's the favorite for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay, so how can you win Offensive Player of the Year and not be the MVP?
I don't know. Why is
that AFC? Is that probably AFC Offensive Player of the Year?
No.
Do they have that, or is it just whole league?
It's whole league. Why is the MVP not in the awards section? That's dumb. Is it not up there? That's different. That's weird.
They don't have the MVP in there right now?
I don't see it. Under the awards section.
Interesting. They've got Coach of the Year.
Weekly special. Awards. I'm in awards and it's not there. Coach of the Year's there.
Yeah. Whatever. All I'm saying is
Belichick's the favorite to win Coach of the Year. He's not going to win Coach of the Year.
He should.
They're not going to give.
We talked about that a few weeks
ago. I know, but they're not going to give it to him.
He should.
He should win it every year if you're going to give it to him.
Yeah, but that's like the LeBron James conversation, although not anymore. Not anymore.
No, Steph Curry, you could have that every year.
Steph Curry now can do it, but yeah, COVID's running the league.
It's bad. Now Kendrick Bourne is probably not going to play on Sunday against the Bills.
Kendrick Bourne and
more N'Keal Harry, baby. Let's do it. See that catch? Woo!
Yeah, he's a great run blocker.
Just don't let him return punts, and I'm happy. Like, just stop that, and we'll be good. He's not going to get a lot of balls.
I want a lot more. I want a lot more out of my first round wide receiver.
I need a lot more out of Jonnu Smith. I don't care about N'Keal anymore. Like,
I think after I think after what we saw, just thinking about like, will the NFL shut down the season? Do you think so?
No. Not
I
this
don't
point.
either.
They just changed the rules so they don't have to.
Right.
They
right.
literally just changed the rules. They all got together in a room and said, guys, what can we do to stop this from having to stop the season? Let's stop testing vaccinated players to look like they're not sick. We'll just hide it. That's basically what they're doing. They're hiding positive tests.
I'm surprised they weren't doing that before.
Yeah. I don't think they expected cases to be this bad again to not have to do that. But the fact that they didn't do it before means they had to publicly come out and announce they're doing it now, which means they're announcing. They're literally announcing these. The press releases basically said overhaul of protocols. They weren't like we're ramping testing and make sure people are quarantined. It's none of that. It's we're gonna stop testing people who don't look like they're sick.
Yeah, if you're
as long as you're vaccinated.
Well, especially because right now, like if you keep on testing, I just saw 47 additional players were added to the COVID protocols today. 47.
Absolutely nuts. I might just yeah, absolutely nuts. It's a lot, and it's not just the NFL. It's everybody. It's all the leagues. It's the country right now. But they're the ones obviously in the spotlight. So look, whatever. My fantasy playoffs are probably already screwed. At this point, I'm just hoping the Patriots can stay off of it for the most part. If you lose Mac Jones to COVID, you're screwed. But I don't think that kid has a life, so you're good.
Listen, it seems like once the snowball starts going, it just rolls and it just gets bigger and bigger.
If you lose Mac Jones, who you got Brian Hoyer playing? That's good. Let's have fun with that.
Brian Hoyer versus the Bills.
Jarrett Stidham versus the Bills. Let's do it.
Imagine how upset Bills fans would be if Brian Hoyer beat him.
Oh, kind of want that though. No, I don't. That's a lie. I honestly,
awesome.
Not gonna lie, the way the Patriots have played, they might be able to beat the Bills with Brian Hoyer. They just beat him with 3 throws from Mac Jones.
They might. And
They
it
could
would
beat
be
the Bills. They could probably
awesome.
beat the Bills with Brian Hoyer.
It would be awesome.
Great. Be great.
All right, we got anything else?
No.
Jake Paul knocked out Tyron Woodley.
I don't care.
Oh, good dude. Did you see the knockout?
I did see the punch. It was pretty legit.
He was lights out.
That right hook, pretty nice.
I'm telling you, I know he hasn't fought an actual boxer, but Jake Paul can throw hands. And in these people obviously fight. These people obviously fight real boxers, but when you see these boxers, especially the ones that like the names that are just starting to up and come, and they have like 20 wins, they're like 20-0.
Yep.
A lot of the times, like they're facing guys who aren't good.
No.
Like they're just building up the numbers. So I want to point that out to people. I'm interested to see where Jake Paul goes with this.
He can go somewhere with this now.
I'm very interested. I was excited to see the Tommy Fury fight because obviously he's, Tyson Fury's half brother. I was excited for that. I don't even really know what happened, why he pulled out of the fight.
It was an injury, wasn't it?
I would assume.
It was an injury. Like I legit think he just couldn't fight.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I would like to see that fight happen because I'm interested. I want to see what Jake Paul can do against a real boxer.
One of these days he'll have to do it. He'll get paid a lot to do it too, because those fights will be worth more, right? We start putting real boxers into the mix.
Well, so that's the thing.
You make more, right?
Jake Paul, just people keep fucking with Jake Paul, saying like, "Hey, like fight a real boxer." Why? When he's making millions of dollars knocking these people out.
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley, for people who don't know, is a legend in UFC circles.
Yeah.
Legend. He's not this schmuck who, no offense to Ben Askren, went undefeated for a long time, famous for his knee to the face from Jorge Masvidal. Ben Askren, not a striker. He's a wrestler. Tyron Woodley, striker. Legendary fighter in the UFC. Obviously not a true boxer, but he was a striker in the UFC. So I'm interested to see him against a real boxer. I want to see this happen, but yeah, I mean, make fun of Jake Paul all you want.
No point, man.
Give him shit. He's making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, knocking these people out, and then getting the internet to talk about it for days afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode 237, the Nick Qualia microphone redemption episode. And pat myself on the back for calling that Colts win on Saturday night.
We're moving on. We're not talking about the Colts game anymore.
Nick Qualia, Jared Scally, we're moving on to the Bills next week, guys. The Couch Guys Sports Podcast presented by our friends over at Manscape.com. Use promo code CouchGuy20 at Manscape.com.
Shocked Energy, CGSN.
Shocked Energy, CGSN for 10% off, guys. We're going to talk to you next week. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.